What's up, YouTube? Got me a shower and a haircut. I'm good to go. I don't know what I'm going to talk about. I guess Gen X. That's what my mind keeps thinking of. I know I say that. I'm only using that label because that's what people use. So they they identify what group I'm talking about or what thing I'm talking about by using their label. That's all that's for. I don't agree with those labels. I only use them because other people, like I said, identify what I'm talking about by using them. Yeah, the Gen Z, even if I say it, I'm just goofing off or, just using the lingo so people understand what blah, blah, blah I'm talking about. Millennial, all that stuff. It goes for each one. You might hear me use it. You might hear me, say stuff about it. But that's my bottom line about it. I don't, it's a bunch of internet fantasy versus reality bullshit. You got to know where the line is, even if you, goof around with it. Because, yeah, fantasy is fun to entertain and goof off and make jokes and whatnot, but there is a certain level of reality to certain things. And as long as you keep that in mind and everybody actually understands it, then it's cool. But there's some people that will say they understand it, but still not fully understand that where the line is between reality and fantasy. They will start to mix it and then start to believe it. And I think that's the type of people you have that is mixed into the uh, bad side of the personality disorders spectrum and, uh, you know, LBGQ, blah, blah, blah. And I think it's throughout all races and whatnot. I don't think it's just like, one particular, like females or this or that, but females seem to be more drawn into it. Males seem to be drawn into it, but they also seem to be more. There's 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 a bigger margin that will play around with it, but they understand. There's a line, and that it's just bullshit. Now there's other ones. There's a smaller group of men that don't like playing around with that stuff at all. They'll giggle, they'll goof off with the group, but in reality, they don't really like it at all. I think that's why you start to get, introverts and stuff like that because there's people that just don't want to fucking deal with it because most people try to use those fantasy versus reality things to either make you look like something or that you went along with something just because you said it or goofed off or made a joke. And it's like, what the fuck? But yeah, you can have the whole group getting along and, you know, they seem like they're on the same page, but if you make a joke, they'll try to, be like, well, you must like this, blah, 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 because you joked about it and used it. No, no, no. Just like if I use one of those labels, there's a lot of people that'll jump down my throat. Well, you must be accepting it because you're using it. I'm using it because you understand what I'm talking about. If I don't use it and I just say this group of people, you're going to be like, what group of people? And if I try to say this younger group, you're going to be like, which younger group? You're going to force me to end up using your word. Then you're going to be like, ah, you used it. See, it's like a manipulation tactic to try and suck you into their fantasy world to make you feel like you did something wrong or joined something that you said you were against. Just because you talk about something doesn't mean you're for it or against it, unless you already stated you're for it or against it. But anyway, like the year mark and all that, they're just driving people insane with messing with their egos. And I guess Gen X has something wrong with their egos because they accepted that shit even though I grew up with them. And let me tell you something, they were some alcohol, drug addict filled, lazy mofos. Now, could some of them go out and do some really good shit? Yeah, but most of them were on, I'd say 80% of them. I might be off on that. It might be a little bit lower than that, but that's my guess because of how much I've seen it. I mean, that's all that culture was about was barbecuing, drinking, partying. That's all they were about. Yeah. How do you know? Gee, I don't know. That's just my brother and everybody that in my family that is younger than him by your guys' count. Once again, I don't believe with all that, but that's what you guys say. So that's what I'm saying. Those people. That's what they did. So I don't see why Gen X gets the, you know, rap that they do, other than to be a fantasy versus reality trick to manipulate you into accepting something fully so much that you lose your shit because they say that they don't get offended, but they do. And you can tell they get offended because they will start to like try and cut on you and stuff like that. They're offended, even though they won't admit it. They are. I just wish they would admit that, oh yeah, we get offended. We just do it differently. Okay, now that I can understand. They do. They get sarcastic, and if you keep beating them at their sarcastic game or keep hitting them with reality, they'll want to fight. Uh, some of them can fight, some of them cannot. Just like nowadays, some of them that run their mouth are right and can fight. Some of them are right and cannot fight. Some of them are wrong and can fight. Some of them are wrong and cannot fight. It's just life. It's just humans. That's just the way shit goes. And on any given day, either one of them can come out the winner. So it doesn't mean they're right. Doesn't mean they're wrong either. So that still goes along with what is truly reality. We can say and do whatever we want, but is it reality? And just because of a couple of people can do it, that doesn't mean it's not reality. That means it is because it's been done. Now, if you dress in a furry costume and you walk around, you cannot say that you became an animal and that was reality because this happened. You put a costume on, you paid money, shut up. That's what I mean by, okay, so what? You walked around in a furry costume that you paid for. You did not turn into an animal and then back into a human. Stop watching Twilight. That don't really happen. And if it does, good luck because people are either going to beat you up or put you in a cage because they want to sell that or they're scared of it. Again, that's playing with fantasy. You see that? Making a joke of it, yes, and saying, yeah, if that were possible. See, it's entertaining the fantasy, but it's also keeping in mind that that shit's not possible. And if, like I said, if it was, this would be the reaction. Not only that, people probably wouldn't get the kickback about it that they do. You know, we've seen people on videos doing the, you know, cat sounds and acting like cats without all that stuff. We just thought, they're happy, they're cool, they're, not hurting nobody. But then we hear of other shit that these people do, and we're like, what the? All because somebody said they weren't a cat. All they gotta do is be, I know, I'm just having fun, and right back to what they're doing. I mean, really? I mean, come on. I never thought in my life I would hear about people getting shot over chicken nuggets, mayonnaise. I mean, really? And everybody's like, that's so hard to believe. No, it's not. I've seen this younger generation flip out over not getting their nuggets or, their sauce, and then the internet push it like it's funny and cute, and you better give this kid. That's the kind of stuff that pushes that. And most people are like, well, wow, my kid never did that. No, but you don't know what other kid is seeing it and how they are going to react to it. And this is what some other kid did. Took it to extreme. That's insane. Yes, it's called a mental illness, and it could be something called BPD, which they see your daughter do that, so they go above and beyond to get more attention. There you go. That's how that stuff gets fueled. And yeah, you don't see the connection because you just don't want to believe that that innocent little thing that you did to make people laugh caused somebody to possibly do that. Pretty funny. It didn't happen before. Then you do these funny videos or where people think it's funny or saying, yeah, the customer got what they deserved with this, you know, some of the drive through ones and all the controversy. And then you have people with these mental illnesses that walk around, and if you don't know it, they look normal. They do. You don't know it until you actually start stringing stuff together that they're doing. And then you're like, hey, do you need medicated? And if it's a girl, good luck. She might go and get medicated, and hopefully she doesn't run the therapist in circles, and hopefully it's a good therapist. You got a lot of things to worry about to get that right, because if you don't, it can make her worse. Or she could be running around believing that she's getting help with something and still doing what she's doing. Yeah, they set up scenarios where they can manipulate and get away with it, and then they sit back and laugh like evil little demons, and you don't see it. They are laughing inside their head. It's not just women, no. It's some men too, but it's mainly seen with women. They like the fact of seeing their, I guess, plan take effect. Almost like a witch, you know what I mean? Like in the movies when you see the witch, conjure up the spell she's been working on real hard, and she tries it out and it works, and she's over there, twiddling her fingers with that evil look on her face, like, ha ha ha, it's working. Yeah, something like that. I do feel the not the 40s, because you had Hitler and all that bullshit going on, but and I know in every you know century you had wars and stuff going on throughout every decade. So almost like every decade there was another war, big, some type of decent sized conflict going on. Rothschilds got to make their money, got to sell those weapons. And yeah, JP Morgan's right with them, selling the fuel, and pretty sure they're in with Lockheed Martin, Boeing, and all them. But who knows? Yeah, my intention letting all this out about the kids was never to attack anybody. I think the word attack is the wrong word to use. I mean, I never wanted to fight with anybody. I just wanted people to know the truth. And yeah, maybe I shouldn't have done it while I was going through all that grief and still going through it. Whatever else you want to call it. But I did. So, see ya.